nobody else. No, I ain't tryna be like nobody else. No, I ain't tryna be like nobody else. Cause I'm having too much fun tryna be myself. No, I'm not the type of chick that like to follow trends. I got a small circle, no, don't need a lot of friends. You know I gotta get this money cause I like to spend. I see you haters watching, so I just give you a grin.
How you guys doing? It's your girl Lamda. I'm here with another episode of Justheretovent. First of all, you already know I'm coming through with the review for Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15, episode 4. This episode was a little bit of dry. They try to give it a little bit of drama towards the end to give us something to look forward to for next week, whatever. All right, so the episode start off with Kenya. She is trying to learn this dance routine from Monyetta. They gave us a little bit of background on Monyetta. She used to be a dancer. She said she shared a stage with Prince, and that she's been a backup dancer for him. People like Chris Brown, and I guess she named some others. So I was like, that was cool to know a little bit more about her. I do see that she's trying to step up because she does have a peach, I think, this year. So she's trying to step up a little bit more because I think last year she was just a friend of the show and she wasn't talking that much. So she do seem a little bit turned up, you know what I'm saying? But Marlo did need to be checked last week. Now, on to this week, so they trying to learn a little dance. Now, I'm sorry, y'all. Kenya, I love you. You know, you're one of my favorite cast members, but your butt, it's not real. But we just going to leave that alone. We just going to leave it alone. We just going to leave it where it's at. We know, though, so just stop playing with us in our faces. Y'all be always trying to play in our faces like it's like we retarded or something, like we slow. Like, girl, stop. Just admit it. Like, we've had enough of the lies, all right? But I think that's cute. She's supposed to be going to this charity event that's supposed to be going down, I think, in Birmingham, Alabama. So she's taking the girls out there. She was like, her name's attached to it. She's supposed to be doing some show at halftime for, like, the homecoming. That's supposed to be what's be going on. So that sounds like that's exciting. So they're having some little conversations there. And the guy that Kenya is talking to that, what is his, Monyetta hooked her up with, I forget his name, I think it's like Rob or something with an R. He had called on FaceTime. She was like, she gave the phone to Kenya, like, look who I'm with, you know. So I think that was funny. I'm like, yeah, they probably had that arranged. I be thinking everything is arranged. I'm like, yeah, she was probably like, call like around this time because I'm gonna be with her and the camera's gonna be there, like, you know, just to keep the storyline going. I'm not saying that that's what they doing, but that's what they doing. Anyway, so I think in the next scene, where was we? I feel like we had a scene where, because it's so hard for me to remember exactly the scenes from scene by scene. I think we was getting over to Sanya, though. Sanya, first of all, you know, the whole situation with her story, her family is ready, well, really her husband, basically, she pretty much threw him under the bus, said that he is the one that wants them to start moving their separate ways, like getting out of the house, because, you know, they all live together. She lived with her brother-in-law, her sister, her mom and dad, and then they kids, and then they got a child together named Deuce. So it is a lot of them in the house, and her husband's basically ready for them to have the house themselves. Her sister is making it seem like, here's what I don't like, all right? Because it's like a double-edged sword, right? Her sister's husband does not have a job, right? So basically, 1 second, I gotta make sure that my computer's still on. Y'all know I'm working from home. So her sister is basically saying, like, you know, Sanya is taking advantage of them, you know, because just because they work for her, she thinks they supposed to be on the clock 24/7, that type of thing. And I understand that side of it because, you know, if you got family working for you, especially, and they living with you too, yeah, you probably is going to take advantage of that. Like, maybe you land down, you like, oh, you know, you got time to do my hair, because I think her sister do her hair or whatever, and her sister's husband is her personal assistant. So, personal assistant, though, to someone, you gotta have to do a lot of stuff. And also, but here's the other side of it. The other side is like, y'all coming off like she's using y'all, right? But then you coming off like you mad that she wants y'all to move out. It's like, do you want to be out on your own or you don't want to be on your own? Like, I'm trying to figure it out because you making it seem like she's taking advantage of y'all. And it is understanding, like, she did move them out there and they was already living in Texas, and it's like, you know, you made them uproot their lives. But it's like, okay, y'all been here kind of a good while now. Y'all can start making your way, finding your own house. She letting y'all stay there till y'all find a place, which I think is, you know, I'm not saying y'all living rent free or anything like that, because she working, y'all. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know, I just feel like there's ungratefulness on both sides. Like, saying is a little bit ungrateful because she's taking advantage because she know they're going to be there. And then they're a little ungrateful because it's like, okay, how could you not think at some point she's going to, or they're going to want to branch off or want you guys to start building your life outside of the home, which you should want to do anyway because you have your own family and your own 2 kids, you know? So, I don't know, but I see that that's about to start getting a little interesting. Sanya did say something that was funny because she was like saying who they going to complain to because she's HR. I'm sorry, because that killed me, because I'm like, bitch, you right, though. Who they going to complain to, because you is HR. Like, what? All right, so as Sanya, her mom, and the sister is talking, the sister seemed like she was getting a little upset, like, about the whole idea of them having to move out and, get their own place. And I'm just like, it was a little emotional. She seemed like she's sad about it, but it's like, you can't have it both ways. You can't say that you don't like that she kind of is like running your lives, but then act like you have a problem with wanting to move out and be on your own. It's like, which you got to pick a battle. You can't have it both ways. You can't have one foot in and one foot out. You need to choose. So that's where I'm at with Sanya. Then we cut to a scene. I think they had went back to they were showing some situation with Marlo to see how she had got back. So she's explaining it to her sister, telling them about the situation. They doing cutback scenes. And I'm just like, first of all, that whole situation with Marlo, I feel like Marlo is doing entirely too much. She's, again, trying to create a storyline based off of Kandi of what it is that Kandi should have done or hasn't done or will do or needs to do for her. And why are you so entitled? All you do is talk bad about Kandi on this show, but yet and still you feel like she should be doing something with you. At one point during the show, she's going to say, oh, Kandi ain't trying to do nothing to have me have my record expunged. You almost 50 years old. Why is it Kandi's job? You're not one of her kids. You're not one of her kids, so why do you think that she should be out here trying to help a grown-ass woman get their record expunged?
You make no sense, lady.
You sound stupid and crazy. There's something wrong with you. I think you're going through menopause. You sound crazy. First, last season, you was using your nephews as a storyline. Now, again, this year, you're using Kandi as a storyline. All you do is talk about Kandi. You sound like you're a very envious and jealous person. You're mad because she's winning and you're not. So your nephew got killed. And I'm sorry about that. I don't mean to come off crass or like, I don't care. But it's just like, girl, that had nothing to do. And then I watched Kandi speak on it. That had nothing to do. The worker that she's saying that killed her nephew, he didn't even work for Kandi from what she said. She said they went back to try to look, Kandi gonna come with the receipts. Said didn't even work there. Her nephew did work there, but Kandi said that he only worked there for a couple of months, left and came back for like another month, so like a total of 3 months. She said she only seen him twice. She didn't really know him personally. So it's like, what was you expecting her to do? And then she said she texted you and said she was sorry for your loss. What else was you expecting? You talk crap about her all the time, and then you expecting her to what? Pay for the funeral? Send flowers? Girl, bye. You make it seem like your family got a problem with her. And like Kandi said in her speak on it, you is dredging up and making this trauma, for your family, bringing this back up on the show as your storyline. Like, somebody need to get her off the show because she's already boring. She's already annoying. And she just is team too much. She's always doing too much all the time. Like, Marlo, your scenes are dry. You're dry. All you talk about is fashion. We ain't hear nothing about Lay Archive. What is Lay Archive doing? The people want to know. The people want to know what Lay Archive is doing. Like, girl, did you change the name? Did you get it spelled right? Let's investigate that. We just want to know more. We don't really know about your life. Like, it's just, she stresses me out. All right, so Kenya is planning this trip for the charity down to Birmingham. She's telling everybody about it. You know how she is when she start doing trips or whatever. She start getting all bossy, short-tempered, always, I got to be on time. So the girls are all packing and getting their clothes together for that little trip. They talking about that. All right, cool. So as they starting to get ready for the trip, I felt like you can already tell there was going to be some beef with like Marlo and Kenya, but they always have beef. But I genuinely think that they don't really like each other in general, in real life, real time. So it's like hard for them to even have the scenes together. But neither one of them are going to let that stop their bag. So as they're getting to the trip, to get to the end of the episode, because it was a bunch of like filler stuff going on in there. And there was one point where Courtney was having a conversation with Marlo. I think, who else was there? Gosh, I don't remember the other person that was there. Was it Sheree? I don't know who else was there, but they was talking about Kandi again. She's always the topic of discussion, basically saying, oh, well, this is like she's saying that, Courtney was saying that Kandi's creating this culture at her restaurants that's bringing in people that are thugs, I guess. Because that was what she basically was insinuating. And it's like, you guys are asking this woman to be in control of other grown people. Which actually isn't off-brand because you think that she's supposed to be helping you get your record expunged. Courtney, I'm just tired of seeing you. I'm gonna be honest with you. You're so thirsty. People would think you was in a desert. Like, that's how thirsty you are. Like, I hope that this is your last season. Please. Like, girl, who are you? you know. So all right, they get ready, they going on a trip. Now Kandi doesn't go on the trip because she had a prior engagement, so she wasn't there, and Drew was sick. Again, she's missing another episode. Drew, you better go ahead and get them coins because you got a divorce coming up. You can't afford to be missing episodes. Do they pay you a little bit or just half of your check when you only show up in the confessional asking for a friend? So anyway, they going down to Birmingham. They got a bus that's taking them down there. You know, Kenya's all like, everybody be on time, be on time. People, they start showing what times they was showing up and everything. I think like Marlo was one of the last people to come. So they get on the bus, they talking, they having some discussions. Kenya's telling them why Kandi couldn't come, and I think that was it. They was talking about that. Seemed like she was having some good conversations. Courtney was trying to find her way. I appreciate that Kenya wasn't like giving her a hard time because she could have, because she know that her and Kandi don't get along. And so I do see the growth in Kenya, that she's growing a lot. You know what I mean? So it's like that part is cool. All right, they finally get there. They playing a little game. They go to this place that they dance and they learning this dance. Now, Kenya is trying to keep it a surprise that she's doing a little halftime show by herself or whatever. Because remember, I told you at the beginning of the episode, Monyetta was teaching her, giving her some choreography. So she's keeping that a secret. So she puts them in this dance class. They're trying to learn this routine. And she's telling them that it's a competition. Whoever does the best and like learns the routine or whatever, they're going to get the suite. Now, they get into the other room. While they doing that, Kenya's like, all right, y'all practice. I'm going to come back. I'm going to choose one. You know, they had something to say about that. Sheree was like, oh, I didn't know that we were supposed to just be watching you, you know, or learning this. Ain't you supposed to be doing this too? It's just like, they always going to find something to complain about. That's just who these girls are. So her and Monyetta practicing her halftime show while they sitting there practicing. Sheree ended up winning the prize, and she's going to get the suite at the room or whatever. So they get into the room. She's telling them the time that they got to be ready and all of that. Sheree get into the room like, this ain't no damn suite. That room was small, like probably the size of my room, just like my room. So it's like, no, that's definitely not no suite, girl. Like, you was playing a vicious game. And then they started talking about basically like, you know, Kenya don't really know how to host. You know, you had the situation with their South Carolina trip last year where she had got some food from Uber Eats and didn't order nobody nothing, but you hosting this trip, you eating food in front of them, and you know they hungry as hell. Like, girl, I'd have slapped the shit out of you. But you know, she just seems like she's trying to ball on a budget. And I understand that it does seem like she doesn't have that much help. Her daughter seems to be going with her on a lot of her trips. So, like, I understand, but I just feel like, I don't know, Kenya, you got a job to do. You're going to have to start figuring it out. You're going to have to start putting that coin out there that you're saying you're making so much of. I understand you got a daughter to raise, but Kandi's getting it done. And yes, she does have a husband, so there is an extra support system. So I get it. I understand. I'm a single mom, definitely not even close to making the coins that you make, so I understand the plight. What I'm saying is, you have a job to do. You need to start setting up parameters and guidelines that need to be followed, because you can't be bringing your daughter on every trip with you while you filming. This is just not an environment for her. Like, it's point blank period. 1 second, y'all. So that happens. They get ready. They all get nice. So Monyetta come back downstairs in this silver looking aluminum number. And I'm not going to lie, it was not what they were saying that it was themed, because she was saying that the event was like real classy, and, you know, basically like the gowns, you know, was going to be an evening, you know, a black tie event, basically is the image that she's portraying that it's going to be. All right, cool. We can go with that. Go with that. And then she was like, Monyetta, like, we're not going to the strip club. Now, she said that in her confessional. Be very clear. She didn't say that to Monyetta. Not saying she's scared, but I'm just saying she didn't say that to her. But she did tell Monyetta, like, you need to go change. Like, that is not appropriate for the event we're going to. I can respect that. Even though her and Monyetta cool, she kept it real with her in that moment. And that was cool. Monyetta didn't, like, you know, get with her. She was like, well, this is all I brought. But then she ended up going to go change. But Kenya, how she is on the time. So she was like, my name is attached to this, so I'm not going to be late. So I think the only people that got there early was Kenya, not Courtney. I can't remember who was on the bus. These girls are so forgettable. I think it was Kenya, and maybe 2 other people with her. So they get there, and then it's like the people are like fanning out, the people that are at the event, trying to get pictures with them, you know, pulling out their phone, like, you know, saying hi to them, like, you know. And Kenya was just like looking around. They were saying in the confessional, like, this is not what they were expecting it to be. Like, it looked like, you know, a little downgraded in the class of what they were portraying that it was going to be, you know. So then the rest of the ladies get there. I think it was Marlo, Courtney, and Sanya. They rolled back together. I think Monyetta came with them too. And She looked nice. She changed her dress. Good for you, Monyetta. Good job. And they was just basically saying the same thing. So Marlo, you know, she come in team too much again. It's like, oh, like, you know, what is this? And Sheree is just like, this is not what I thought it was going to be, because they was all really dressed up, you know, took their time. And Marlo was like, well, let me just get a bottle of champagne so we can show them how to set it off, like, so we can turn up, whatever. So she gets that, get the bottle. They go sit outside and they discussing. And Kenya's just like, you know, basically trying to explain to them, like, this wasn't what she was expecting. And then the producer comes out and tells them that they want them to leave because they distracting the charity event. I was just like, they ended up, I think that it was rude for them to kick them out, because it's like, you invited her, you know what she does, you know that she's a reality TV star. I'm not going to say I'm sure she informed y'all that the cameras were going to be there, but I feel like you were privy to some type of information. And then you also know that they're going to donate. And this is a charity event. So it's like, why are y'all kicking them out? That is very, very weird and crazy to me. It's like, who's in charge of this? It looked disorganized, and it's like, all right, cool, y'all want us to get kicked out, let's go. So then Kenya had to go relay the news to them. She was like, how about we do all of this at the hotel? Like, she be so funny, cracking me up. So they get back to the hotel, and the ladies is all mad because Kenya, you know her, she go to bed before everybody. She's up in her room, and they just like, basically like, you brought us out here on this trip, you promised us a good time. Like, no. Get your ass up and film and get it together. So they go up to her room. They all knocking on her door. Sanya knocks on her door. Monyetta knocks on her door. Marlo knocks on her door. Then Marlo start, I think Sheree kicked the door. Then Marlo start kicking the door, like kicking it hard. And then, you know, Kenya comes to the door. You know, her makeup's off. She's done for the night. The bitch is done filming. She comes to the door like, yo, like, are you crazy? Are you insane? Like, you're being an asshole. Like, my daughter is in here, right? Now, I'm about to tell y'all every breakdown of this, okay? Once Marlo was privy to the fact that her daughter was in there, I feel like, okay, don't keep kicking the door, because I think she still kicked it a couple times after that, and she said she didn't care. What amazes me about Marlo is that you could sit here and be in that moment and say that somebody doesn't care, but you're expecting Kandi to help you get your record expunged. You're expecting Kandi to send flowers, pay for the funeral for a person that she had only 2, maybe 1 interaction with, and you talk crap about her consistently, and you want people to feel sorry for you? How you want somebody to feel sorry for you? She just told you her daughter was in the room and you said you didn't care. Well, we don't fucking care. We don't care about your boring ass life. We don't care about your fake ass struggle, how it's so hard taking care of your nephews. You don't even want to be there for them. You probably act like them kids not even there. All of your fucking scenes with them seem scripted. No one gives a damn. Nobody cares. So if you want to take that approach, we don't care either. Now, Kenya, I'm about to get on your ass too, because like I said before, you can't keep bringing your daughter to these trips when you know that you are filming, especially if you're hosting. If you want to bring her and you're not hosting, okay. But if you hosting, you can't be sitting here bringing them out, getting them all dressed up, promising them a good time. You're getting them kicked out of the event. They want to go somewhere. They want to go do something. They already dressed up. Like, Kenya, you're dead ass wrong. But Marlo, you was more wrong, because when she told you her daughter was in there, you don't keep kicking the door. That was real ghetto. That was ignorant. That was tacky. For you to have all this fake ass class and you want to be teaching somebody or going to an etiquette school, because I've been watching since the beginning, taking somebody to etiquette school, you need to start at day 1, because you're the most ratchet of them all. Like, I'm really sick of Marlo. I'm ready for her to get off the show. So we see next week, they probably going to be coming back at that scene. Kenya and Marlo are probably going to have some discussions about her banging and kicking at the door, because Marlo, you was dead wrong for that. It looked like it's not going to be too much. And then they had that scene too. I wanted to talk about, what's the name, getting a sonogram, a mammogram, whatever. Girl, Sheree, you is not even getting a period no more. Stop. Okay, and then the doctor tells him, is you trying? Bitch, how much did you pay that doctor to ask you that? Tells him, is you trying? From what we know, what the streets is saying, allegedly, you and Martell ain't never even had sex. Girl, bye. You and Marlo, y'all the two thirstiest, don't have no storyline, don't have nothing going on with your life, but y'all talking about somebody that does have stuff going on in their life. Both y'all need to go sit down somewhere. Y'all is the 2 whack crew, and that's what I'm naming y'all from this point on. Kenya, you can't bring your daughter on every trip. I'm sorry. And Kandi, keep shining. You know what I'm saying? You booked and busy. That's why you wasn't on this episode and going on this trip. And that just is what it is. And that's why they're jealous. They don't have nothing else going on. They always got time for filming. And I said what I said. Make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe, the notification bell. Please, please, please. Share if you care. Leave a comment. And I'm going to see y'all next week when I do the other review. And I'm probably going to be dropping a couple more videos this week. See y'all next time.